The New York Jets are now on the board.
Okay, Jet fans, Darrell Revis.
Being in New York has been one of the greatest blessings.
Zach's Fifth Avenue ran that one right now.
The New York Jets select.
Welcome to the Draft Preview Series. Eric Allen here, joined by the Athletics' Dane Brugler. Dane, you have been high on Ike Ekwonu for months. Why?
I think when you watch him, it's just he gets you excited. You know, when you watch a player on tape, you want to get excited about him. You know, that tells you, just how good he can be and how good he is. And that's what you see with Ike Ekwonu. As a run blocker, he has a chance to be elite. He has explosiveness, both in his movements and then at contact. He loves to bury anybody that's in his path. I mean, more pancakes than IHOP on his tape. It's a lot of fun to watch. And so, gap zone, it doesn't matter. He's a mauler. In pass pro, that was the biggest question. You know, watching Ike last summer and saying, okay, yeah, this guy's got a lot of talent, but you know, he's pass protection. That's the big worry. The steps that he made this year in pass protection were really, really impressive. Now he still oversets time, here and there. He'll be over aggressive at times in space, but the balance, the handwork, I thought he proved this year on his tape that he could play outside, be a tackle, no question. But I do think run blocking, that's kind of his MO. That's what he does best.
How do you separate Ekwonu, Evan Neal, and Charles Cross from Mississippi State? He's a guy a lot of people like in terms of the New York Jets.
Yeah, and with Cross, he is, I think it depends on what exactly you're looking for at the offensive line position, style-wise. Because with Charles Cross, he's not a power guy. That's not what he brings to the field. But in terms of pass protection, his hand exchange and his movement patterns are both above average. I think he processes things well. He has a really good understanding of how to use his hands. With Evan Neal, I think he's got a little bit of everything that you want. I mean, it's fascinating to look at him and you wonder where are all that 340 pounds? Where is it? Because he fills his frame out so well. He's just a big bone guy, long player. He will fall off blocks here or there at times in the run game, but a guy that he's just so effective because his blend of size, athleticism, flexibility, it's just really, really unique for a guy that size.
I wanted to ask you about this. Top of the second round, Jets at 35 and 38. Say they don't take an offensive lineman at 4 and 10, if they stay at 4 and 10. Who might make sense there at the top of the second round for a team looking for an offensive lineman at either the 35 range or 38?
Maybe Bernard Raymond from Central Michigan, who is one of the more fascinating stories in this draft because he made the transition. Well, first of all, he's from Austria, where he was a wide receiver. Comes to the States, where he played receiver, tight end in high school. Goes to Central Michigan, and he was a tight end. He caught 20 passes over 2018, 2019 seasons. And then in the midst of a pandemic, he makes the transition to left tackle. So it's hard enough to make that transition, but to also do it, a lot of it on your own. And he started every game at left tackle the last 2 years, and he played it at a very high level. So, but his ability to stay centered, so he can mirror, so he can counter, his athletic reflexes, his strength in the run game. So he just has a crafty understanding of how to use his body, how to use his play strength. And so it's just a really fun guy to watch. And if he's still there at the top of the second round, he's a perfect sixth offensive lineman as a rookie. And then, you plug him, you need help at guard, you need help at tackle. He can help you out in a lot of different spots. So I think he would make some sense at that point.
Let's skip to Linderbaum real quickly. Is there a chance, since you think that he's so specific in terms of what kind of team is going to pick him up, is there a chance he could be there at the top of the second round?
It's possible. It really is. And I think that, let's just take the, 32 teams. Eliminate all the teams that don't need a center. So, that cuts down a lot of teams. Cut out all the teams that don't run, some semblance of an outside zone type of scheme. That eliminates some teams, or some teams right there. Eliminate teams that just are not interested in drafting a center in the first round. So all of a sudden, we're down to 3, 4, maybe 5 teams, maybe And it just comes down to, do they feel, the Dallas Cowboys, do they feel comfortable taking a center there? Or do they see the more value in adding another receiver, or they have a big need at guard? Maybe they go that direction. And so I think that when you do that exercise, it's really fascinating. You realize, oh, wow, okay, not really an ideal fit there. The Bengals at 31, well, they just signed, okay, maybe not there. So all of a sudden you're looking at him, and yeah, it is certainly possible that Linderbaum could be available in the top of the second round, which at that point, the value is just enormous. And it'd be really hard to say no to him at that point in the draft. And so Tyler Linderbaum, probably one of the wider variances in terms of where he could be drafted, which really makes him a wild card on draft weekend.
Hey, cheers to you. We enjoyed it. Thanks for letting me fill in today. Get a couple Diet Mountain Dews because tomorrow is Celebration Day. Your draft guide is going out. The labor of love that started so many years ago in a college dorm room. Man, it's come a long way. You and Ethan been tearing it up here on the podcast. Thanks for letting me fill in today.
No, thanks, EA. Can't wait to share it. And you did a pretty good job today. So you're good at this kind of thing. You might have a future in it.
Thanks, buddy.